Ethan. I hope you're doing excellent. Our last reading on this channel for Virgo was thebomb.com. So let's see how this full moon energy is for you guys. My birthday is September 9th. I was born on the 9th day of the 9th month of the year 1990, and when it was the year 1999, I turned 9 years old. It was my golden birthday. Hello, this card wants to come out immediately. So it just wanted me to bring all that up. My power number is 9, and it was funny because a couple of years ago when I started getting into tarot, I had no idea. I never knew. 9 was just always my power number because of that birthday, 9999. So when I got into tarot and I found out that the Hermit card is a Virgo energy card, which is the number 9, and then the 9 of Pentacles is a Virgo card and it's a number 9, like, y'all. I felt like my whole life just was like made sense and came together. Okay, there's some cards that fell on the floor for you guys too, so give me 1 second. It did show me a little bit of what these cards are, but I'm not tapped in yet, so I'm gonna lay those out in here, and then I've got my Rider-Waite deck to clarify. But Virgo, this looks like the main energy that wants to come out, and then we've got this to explain. So I like, okay, let me pause real quick. I like how this gave me a sneak peek when they fell on the floor. Being a Virgo, it's like I just got a sneak peek at my birthday surprise. That's what this reading feels like. So we have a Pisces full moon coming up. 8 of Cups. Okay. It has me just staring at her eyes for a minute. Like, almost like just like stare, like this thing, it wants me to be quiet. Very interesting. Very interesting, Virgo. It just gave me an Avril Lavigne song. I was staring at this woman's eyes and it wanted me to just stare at her. Like, just sit in silence and just stare at her. And so the song that just came to mind, we're going to see what else is kind of hiding in here, but the song that just came to mind was an Avril Lavigne song, and it was called Fall to Pieces, and the chorus says, I don't want to fall to pieces. I just want to sit and stare at you. I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want a conversation. I just want to cry in front of you. I don't want to talk about it because I'm in love with you. That's the whole chorus. So there's very much this energy here of like, I mean, obviously like being in love, having a lot to say, but being very emotional and therefore not wanting to talk about it, but at the same time not wanting to be away from that person because you want to just sit and stare at them and be in their presence and just kind of like, that's the whole thing. There's and this doesn't have to be about a person. It's implying that there's definitely distance, which, let me just say, personally, I had like a meltdown about 3 days ago. The whole quarantine kind of being bottled up in my house for days and weeks and months on end has just kind of really gotten to me finally. And I just kind of had like a little flip out, and it was very cathartic. It was very much needed. There's a little bit of that energy here. It's implying like, right, like just letting the emotions flow, letting the energy flow, but not really wanting to talk about anything because there's just so much to say, kind of deal. Yeah, it does. This energy is very still, very calm. Man, that last reading was so different for Virgos than this one. It's just like a much calmer energy. Huh, it wants me to swap them. All right, tell us more, tell us more. Nice, now it just gave me Grease. Summer lovin', tell me more, tell me more. So I mean, this is an interesting little reading, Virgos. Okay. It just said the time for rest is over. Yeah, divine feminines for sure have been resting a lot. Trying to see that. Wow, that was kind of like it for this card. It was just saying like the time for rest is over. It's like you've been doing a lot of resting. You're still doing a lot of resting. Even I today rested a lot. Like I've been sleeping a lot lately. It's been part of the fact that there's been a lot of crown chakra energy going off, a lot of downloads. Even my dreams are very fast paced right now. I've actually been very frustrated. Dreams are my main gift, and I always get frustrated when I get like this. It's like there will be certain times where it's like I know that I'm dreaming, but I can't seem to hold on to them at all when I wake up, because it's almost like the dreams themselves are moving so fast that as soon as I wake up, it's all of the action has dissolved. And I love recording my dreams. I love writing them down. I turn them into art. So when I wake up from a dream and it's instantly gone, like I get pretty ticked with myself. And it's been kind of giving me the sense like there's so much happening in the higher realms, in the 5D, in the dream space, that it's like you don't have time to hold on to absolutely everything that's going through. That's kind of the implication. It's like there's a lot of energy moving in the higher realms. That's part of why you've been resting, because you've been doing a lot of work in your sleep, basically. But it's saying that the time for rest is over, which tells me very much that the energy is going to be shifting soon, too. That things are going to slow down a little bit, but kind of just in the sense of like they're going to become grounded in reality and not so much up here in the higher realms. So the time for rest is over. And it just said the time for learning has begun. Also teaching. And Virgo, this is our season, so that has very much to do with serving others. Just in the sense of being the person that both spouts wisdom for others to hear. It's time for you to be the leader, time for you to be the guidance, time for you to help others. Yeah, very much though at the same time implying that you will be learning things as well. Kind of the same thing I was just talking about with the higher realms. Like the higher realms have been teaching you. All of this energy is about to solidify and coagulate and come to some basic understanding, and then you're going to get to pass that information on, and that is the service that you give to others. There's really good energy here. He always reminds me of that book, The Giver, and how the giver passes along the memories of mankind to the next person who is selected to be the giver. It's very much about empaths. That's kind of like the whole metaphor of the giver. It's like he's a big empath and he stores and carries all the memories of the earth. And in the history before their society got to be the way that it was. And then the next generation, there's one person that gets chosen to be the receiver, and then he passes the memories down, and it can be very painful because the society that they live in has never experienced a lot of the horrors of the world, such as war, such as famine, such as all of those things. So when the teenager that is going to be the next giver, the receiver, is receiving all of these memories, it's very difficult to process, very hard for him to comprehend and understand how people could do those things to each other, why that kind of energy even existed, why do these memories exist. But it's also showing him at the same time where his current society isn't so awesome, because even though they don't have war and famine and all of these things, they have become so bland and neutral. Like people don't even see in color anymore. They see in black and white. They don't talk about love. They don't talk about feelings. They don't talk about anything. They're just like these very stoic beings that only serve a purpose to society, and that's like their only thing that they do in that society. So it wanted me to ramble on about the giver for a while, because the point is that that's exactly how you're feeling too. I think in general at this point, it's like man, this world is crazy, but if we didn't have some of these things, we wouldn't understand how beautiful the other things are, right? And that's a lot of wisdom to reap, and that's what makes you both this Hierophant and the person that is receiving knowledge from the Hierophant, because there are ascended masters and angels and beings and all kinds of other things that are here to teach you so that you can be this figure yourself. As it relates back to this energy up here, it's like there's a lot of stuff that you have been learning, a lot of stuff that you've been experiencing in the higher realms. It's just so much to express, though, like where do you even begin? And that's why it just kind of like wanted me to pause and just stare into these women's eyes. And nice spirit, it's like talking about how the eyes are the window to the soul, and how much can actually be communicated through like telepathy and those empathic abilities. And man, my pinky's like twitching, and my right rib cage kind of twitched when I was talking about that. It's like there is so much information that can be communicated telepathically, emotionally, through empathic connections. It's just talking about connecting with someone through their soul instead of connecting with people through words so much. Like connecting through people's souls instead of connecting through words so much. And that's exactly what, okay, now a sword's energy is all about mind and words and communication too. So that could very much be this as well. It's like, it's not so much about all your words anymore too. It's about connecting through the soul. And that's what you're learning. Yeah. Because again, here's that Knight of Swords, okay? And now we're back to that Swords energy. Why? Because you really sense some divine truths, some divine communication, some victory. It just wants to keep saying truth. There is like a divine truth. And it wants me to be very specific. Divine truth as in, you know, your personal truth. You know what part of your calling in life is. You know what spirit says to you directly. And that is the horse that you're on, that you're riding. It's like a spirit horse. It's like, you know what spirit is saying to you. You know where spirit is guiding you. You know what these truths are. And that is something that you're very proud of. Just in the regards that you've worked very hard to get to this knight status with the sword, the Knight of Swords. Now, this is also like coming in to cut people with the truth if needed, if necessary. Like that's the other type of energy when it comes to words, being very direct instead of, you don't need 4 swords anymore, right? We have 1 sword. Just speaking what's directly on your mind, being very direct because you know that inside spirit has said blah, blah, blah. So you're going to do dit, dit, dit. Like, can be a little bit confrontational. Can be a little pompous at times if taken too far. But it's not what this energy, it's like warning you of that, but this feels like a very humble energy of just like just sitting on your spirit horse and just having your sword and just knowing your truth and just not being afraid to speak your mind or speak what you need to say. And you can do it in a more direct way. You can speak directly to someone's soul through their emotions, through your gifts that you have. And because spirit is working through you, and it just said channel, like this is like the sword is the channel. That's what I mean. It's like you channel these things. Okay. It just kind of gave me Joan of Arc references too. That's what I mean. Like literally speaking to these higher beings, which that has been coming through for me very much lately. Yeah. Total Joan of Arc energy coming off of this card right now. And she received visions and she received messages from higher spirits. And trust me, I literally just read her biography like 2 days ago just because of the fact that she's been popping up in my signs and my synchronicities lately. And man, reading her biography and her story is absolutely inspiring and amazing, because it has very much to do with the fact of like people looked down on her, didn't want to believe her, didn't want to follow her, and she led so many strong campaigns, and then she got burned for heresy and everything, and actually they had a really hard time convicting her, And that's why later she got turned into a saint, because the church went back however many years later and was like, wait a minute, they really didn't have any evidence to burn her. So it's actually a story about how it's like, if people don't want to believe in you, if people don't want to communicate with you, if people don't want to follow you, if people don't want to do these things, then they're not going to. Oh God, man, that was beautiful. And it said, but to God be the glory. Because that's the thing, is like, she didn't do it for her and her name. She did it all because God was talking to her, and angels and saints were talking to her, and she did it for, right, the betterment of all of France and for God. And that's what this sword represents. It's like, you are so in line with your spirit and stuff now. It's like, you don't even need all of these words and everything to express it, because honestly, if God's directing you to speak with someone, work with someone, do something, you now have the ability to really tap into their soul and connect with these people, and that's how you serve people. Virgo is beautiful. This is like a full-on, like, yes, like Virgo-ness. Beautiful. 10 of Cups energy. And that is so fulfilling and so amazing to you. And that's what brings you true happiness, is your ability to serve others. But it wants to point out that as much as that is really Virgo's power, to step up and just, what it's wanting me to say is, like, these are all things though that you do through focusing on yourself and doing the things that make you happy, Virgo. Not just like, oh, my purpose is to serve people, so here, let me serve people. You will never be happy that way. It's like, you know what, I enjoyed this, I'm gonna go do this. And then it becomes an idea where you're like, well, what if I made a business out of this, or what if I did that, or what if I do this? And then that's becomes how you serve people, right? It wants to emphasize that this is not about you bending over backwards as like a servant or a slave to people. This is about you finding your truth and your passion that Spirit has been working on you with, because it is very fulfilling. It brings you ultimate happiness. It brings you friends. It brings you company. It brings you joy. It brings you all kinds of just amazing, beautiful, emotional fulfillment. And you know it. And that is why it's kind of going back to that Joan of Arc thing. It's like she was so overjoyed whenever she received a vision that she would just hop on her horse and like go deliver the message and go do what she was supposed to do, type deal. And that's exactly how all of this makes you really feel, is like, this stuff makes you so happy that you just want to get on your horse. It's so emotionally fulfilling, like Spirit just talking to you and leading the way. And it just said it really fulfills your life. It really fulfills your life. And that's why you're just so gung-ho about getting on this horse and doing what you need to do, about becoming this Hierophant, and by being taught by higher spirit. And it kind of feels like you're like, yes, I'm done resting, I'm ready to go, let's get on this horse and just do it. That's the energy I've got coming through here. But it's also pointing out that, again, like, people didn't always believe Joan of Arc, and that's not where her happiness was, though. And all these other people, like, she totally went to the grave just doing what she believed in and serving the people as best as she could. And it was her connection to Spirit that ultimately brought her that happiness. I don't know if you just saw that flip out, but it flipped way out. Yeah. I was just gonna pull a card. Hang on, let me see where it's going, because that just totally flipped out. I think it wants it up there. Sorry if you can hear my kid in the background. I wasn't quite ready for this card yet, though, so that one just kind of threw me for a loop. That's part of the message coming through. It's like you weren't quite ready for this card. As in, this energy is going to pop out at you out of nowhere. This is Emperor. So very much could be a man. Could be just self-mastery of your empire. This is Aries energy, fresh energy, new energy, but very, very bold fire energy. When this Emperor is in the upright, which it feels like it's in the upright, and this feels good, it's very solid. He knows his boundaries. He's not afraid to say no. He doesn't have to say it in a mean way. He's also not afraid to say yes and go after what he wants. He is in full control of his entire empire. He's got everything balanced very well. And it's just kind of one of those things, like, this is going to come out of nowhere. And this is a masculine energy. My right elbow just got hot, y'all. My right elbow just got hot. That's what I mean. There's some masculine energy kind of coming through now to tell you. When I just said my right elbow got hot, it's like I'm carrying a basket on my elbow. It's like it's bringing you goodies, like this energy. That's what I mean. Whether this is a person or just kind of like an event, a situation, a shift in your life that brings you this empire per se, or just this really nice shift of energy. It's like bringing you a basket of goodies. It's like got something for you. That's what I've been saying. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, Virgo, it was a huge season of blessings for us, for sure, especially with this 10 of Cups here and that last reading I had. I'm telling you, it was off the chain. Okay, there's something here in my little, nice, in my crystal ball. It's bringing me back to a dream that I had a long time ago. I'm a photographer, and I can also make cameras from hand, like as in like pinhole cameras and stuff like that. And it was bringing me to a dream about this pinhole camera that I had made, and I held it up to my eyes like a viewfinder. And when I looked through the eye holes and held it up to the light was shining through the film that I had put in the camera, and on the film was an image of like raffle tickets, and it just said ticket. And it was like, I always call that dream like my golden ticket dream. Like, that's the ticket. Like, you discovered the light, you looked through the viewfinder and discovered the spiritual light. Like, that's the ticket. And it was very much about my artwork and like what my main passion in life is. And that's kind of what's in here. And that's kind of what this is too. It's like your main passions in life are going to suddenly come into view, is what it's what it's saying. And like, that's the ticket. So when it comes into view, like, that's the ticket of what you need to like hop on your horse and go after, right? And also bringing you abundance and blessings. It sounds like there's something coming in. What's this Four of Swords more about? I'm sorry, I'm shuffling off camera, you guys. Not a lot of space up here with that crystal ball today. Woo, woo. Hang on, just threw a couple of cards. This Page of Swords in reverse. And Five of Cups in reverse. That's what I'm saying. Like, the time of rest is over. Okay, now why? That was a weird little voice I just did. Why is Spirit? You are funny. It just made me do that voice, and then it was saying whining. And that's what kind of some of this energy is. It's like this Page of Swords is, again, all about communication. It's like there was some energy that was just very sad. Like this Five of Cups upside down, for sure. Very sad. Just not able to see the other two cups behind you, the rest of what life is offering you. Very much some whining energy. You got this Page of Swords energy. It's immature energy. It's whining. It's just not the best. And so that's what kind of this Four of Swords is about too. But that's where it's saying this time of rest is over. Why have you been resting? Because you've been avoiding this energy. Okay, that's the other part of it. It feels like what it's saying is like all of this has been felt internally. Like you've been resting for sure because you've been feeling all of this energy. It's like there are just things that you haven't been able to communicate about, emotions you haven't been able to communicate about. It's like you're really sad, or you've been really sad, you've been really depressed, you've been kind of whining about something on the inside. There's some things that you're just like, and Spirit wants to tell me that it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's just that you've been bearing this a lot inside, and that has a lot to do with this whole resting period. It's because it's like you've just been bottling up a lot of stuff. And it's basically saying like you're just either releasing it, or it's not going to have to be bottled up anymore. Like either way, it's like you were just finally getting to let go of this energy that seems to kind of be more hidden, kind of be a little more buried. Yeah. I just wanted to sit with that for another minute, but that was it. That was the message there. Give me one for this Hierophant. The moon. Yes, that's what I was saying. Especially for my divine feminines, this is divine feminine energy is the moon. However, we're coming up on a Pisces moon. The moon card is Pisces energy. This is like straight up telling me that the Pisces full moon is bringing you some stuff. Ooh, and my this finger just, yes, like I just felt a little something shoot through it. Yes, that's what I mean. It's like boom, like this is what, so Pisces full moon is bringing you some really nice divine feminine energy, just Pisces energy, being very connected to spirit. However, there is some like, this is the moon, so there can be some fear, there can be anxiety, there can be just you can't fully see the way. It's not fully illuminated because it's nighttime type deal. Like there is illumination and there is a light to guide you, and there are some divine mysteries and knowledge being revealed to you, but it's not all going to be 100% clearly understood. Or I would say this is straight up divine feminine energy, inner energy, intuition, dreams, a whole bunch of stuff being revealed to you under the full moon. And with this Hierophant, I'm going to say, oh yeah, for sure. Like that's, I feel, and I mean, of course it's going to be, it's our Virgo season and it's our full moon in the sense, you know, it's just like, it's definitely a powerful time if you're a Virgo. This last card came out and I was kind of putting it over here. Yeah, this 9 of Wands. That's what I mean. There's this, got a 9 and a 10, and then we've got a Knight of Swords. It just kind of tells me like, right, some battles have been won. Some things have been lost. You've been reviewing a lot of stuff. I've had a lot of headaches recently, so it's kind of referencing that too. Like there's just been a lot of stuff that you've been kind of carrying around, bottling up, not having to work through, and you've just been working on it internally, and that time is over. There's a lot of illumination coming through for you. You're not going to be so much in this 9 of Wands, wounded warrior, let me count all of my wounds and my scars and make sure that's going to be able to end. What it sounds like to me is more of like this really happy, positive campaign, very, very much tapping into this Joan of Arc energy of like, you're going to receive some messages under this full moon, and that's going to just give you this emotional fulfillment, put you on this horse, finish up this energy, cycle completion. Like, yes, yes, that is what I feel for you. Yes, and we have Temperance under the bottom, which is just having one foot in the real world, having one foot in the spirit world, and my right foot just like kicked when I did that as like a reflex. That's what I mean. It was almost like a confirmation. Like it was like, yep, like keep one foot in the real world, keep one foot in the spirit world. That's your best bet right now, Virgo, especially coming under this full moon. It seems like there's a lot of energy coming in for you guys. So woo, let's do it, y'all. That's what I got for you. And let me know if you have any questions or anything. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.